Welcome to today's lesson. I'm presentation actually. I'm Siamasaka, Korean Dance. So many are times that we look at the progress of children in terms of their success as well as the parents. And so today we are going to look at the effects of the success of the parents to their children. And so we'll go straight to the presentation. So as you can see, I have here a parent-child success profile graph, which really depicts the success rates that parents go through, as well as the children that they go through. In the x-axis, actually, I have the time frame through which people actually pass through. And so this is actually for the parents as well as the children. In the y-axis, I have actually the success profiles. And so one thing to note is that actually children, we have depicted that the children actually, they start from zero because they have nothing at all when they are born. And so they depend everything from their parents. And then the parents actually, they start from somewhere. And so here we have actually a gap between where the parents start from in life and where the children start in life. And so the role of the parents here is actually to lift the children so that they also come to actually where they are here and then start their success rate. And so here we have depicted two different types of parents, parent A and parent B. And then we have also depicted actually three types of children, child D, child E, and child F. And so we'll start with the success profile for parent A. So you notice that parent A actually is an ideal parent who has planned his or her life and is not dependent on the children when he grows. So we notice that here there is no interaction. So when he starts actually his life here, he is established for himself, and therefore he doesn't actually interact with the children's profile, success profile, and he goes actually up there. And we notice that this parent actually is a successful parent, very successful, because he followed actually all the logistics that are required to be a successful parent. And he has a clear path success profile where actually he has shown that one, he is independent, and throughout his life, this parent actually does not even affect the children's success rate. But parent number two, which is parent B, we ideally said all of them, they are starting from the same point. We see that actually the children, they start from zero. So we have child D and child E. We see that at some point, actually child D and child E overtook the success rate for the parent B. So they brought up these two children actually up to that point, but at this point here, the success rate was higher. And further, we notice that actually, because parent B actually remained stagnant for some time to move from this point here up to that point, we notice that after this parent grows old, actually this parent started actually, its success rate started going down. And therefore, at the point when he started going down, or she started going down, it affected the success rate for child E. And therefore, we saw that child E, instead of proceeding with this smooth actual success rate, he was affected because he started now actually providing assistance to the parent. And so what we notice that here is that when we don't do well in life, we do not only affect ourselves, we also affect others. We even affect our children. Because instead of them progressing with the smooth pathway of success, they now start looking after this parent who did not do well in life. And so this is what is depicted here. So we see that parent B, child D and child E overtook the success rate of actually parent B. And child E was affected by the parent B at the lowest potential of this parent. So this parent actually entered into the lowest potential when he grew old because he was not doing very well, and therefore affected actually the success rate for child E, who started now supporting the parent. And so now we have another child who never actually reached the success potential rate for actually the both parents, parent A and parent B. He was not given actually the appropriate tools or appropriate privileges to reach actually where these parents reached. And therefore this parent, this child actually merely staggered through and never even reached the success rate for the parent. So at times, when we do not provide appropriate guidance and even appropriate actually material, as well as appropriate say education to our children, and even actually appropriate skills and capital, these children might not reach their full potential. They might even perform lower than the way we have performed. And so here, my main interest is actually the child. And so what we can see here is that actually, as parents, we need always to strive to have this ideal child. Child D should be ideal. We should expect at all costs, whether as we have not performed well, or as parents, or we should ensure that actually the children perform better than us. And we should ensure that we do not depend on the children, because once we depend on the children, it means that when our full potential is actually dampening, we notice that we are going to affect our children, because instead of looking at their success rate, they will now start subsidizing on our dampening rate, and therefore we will affect their success rate. And so we need to pull this child. This child is supposed to be pulled from this potential to that potential. Okay. Similarly, as parents, we should ensure that we also pull ourselves from this potential parent to that potential. If we have not reached that potential, but we should strive hard actually to ensure that we lift these two children to full potential, so that also they succeed in life. So I thought today we can look at the success rate for children as well as the parents, and how each one of them affects their potential success rates. So I thank you.